Hello and welcome. Yes, okay. I'm running in the last minute. I put these together. Boots must not be here today. This is the guy who's always got it down. So it's all good. I'd like to welcome you, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, four-way test by Lisa Louie. Well, yeah, I'll take it. So anybody leave a sweater a few weeks back? It's been hanging here for a while, so here we go.
Please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, one, is it the truth?
Two, is it fair to all concerned? Three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Four, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right, and our inspiration today is Sarah.
This is on happiness, and I got this few sentences from a speech that Pope Francis gave in 2021 New Year. But that was a long speech. I just got a few words from it. So it's, to be happy is to have confidence in the name of criticism, even when the criticism is unjustified. But to use the tears to irrigate tolerance and find strength in forgiveness. To be happy is also to stop feeling like a victim and instead become your own destiny's author. May your life become a garden of opportunities for happiness.
Thank you. All right. Great. Okay, we have our greeter today, Claudia. Is Claudia need to sell more cards, or are we done? Oh, okay. Yay, she doesn't need to wander. That's great. All right, and I also have some introductions today. We have a visiting Rotarian visiting from Minnesota, am I correct? Whose name is Lee Hopkins. So welcome to our club. So if you want to know what's going on in Minnesota, you'll have to grab on and find out. So yes.
In 2028, we're gonna have Minneapolis International Rotary Convention, and you're all invited.
Okay, that's 2028. Okay, yes, I've never been there.
But he pronounced it wrong.
Oh,
It's Minnesota.
yes, spoken by true Italian. Okay, we also have some non-Rotarian guests. We have Julie Anderson. Is Julie here? Did somebody bring Julie Anderson? Or is that from the past? Last week, oh, sorry. Oh, we do have John and Brad Jones are here. So, John, would you like to introduce your guest? Walk out with the microphone.
This is my baby brother. This is my baby brother, Eddie Jones. You ladies may know of him. If you have bought shoes at Kathy Jean shoe stores in one of the big shopping malls in Eugene or Portland or Seattle. He named the stores after his daughter.
So where does he live here, or where is he visiting from?
On the desert. When I called him to come up, it was 118 degrees. That's why he's here. This is the climate.
Yeah, we didn't tell all about this coming weekend, right? And I have a very special guest who is Diana DeLagrange. And many of you may know her. She has been in the community, and her son, Michael DeLagrange, famous organ star. who, yes, he just won an award, but we'll talk about that later. So yes, he's done a lot of wonderful things in the community. And Brian David Branch, who served on city council with me. So yes, she's here, she's scoping this out, so let's show her all what a welcoming who we are. And I'm happy, right? I would just like to say a special thank you to Jennifer for last week. I went this morning and watched last week's program. You know, because I wasn't here, I kind of wanted to see what was going on, and I will tell you, it was so inspirational for me. Thank you, I learned a lot about some of you, the vocational was wonderful. And the discussion afterwards about values and integrity was also very, very special. So I truly, like I said, if you want to be inspired by a Rotary, just go and listen to August 14th meeting, because it was awesome. I also have a Paul Harris Award that I'm going to give out today, because I have two special pins, Paul Harris pins, one for Jim Lefevre and one for his wife Jolene. So they've been kind of hanging around, and we are so happy to see them back again, you know. Let's see how good, we'll watch your run up here, Jim, come on. Recuperating from surgery, but nice to have you back. And I don't know all the details, I'm sure you will, about which one it is and all that good stuff.
I don't know, they're just pins with things on them.
I know, but I know it's not your first year. I'm wearing my first year, and mine is blue first year. But I know this is not your first. So I'm gonna have you hold the microphone.
What do you think they are?
I don't remember.
Yeah, they just have more of their blue ones.
He has more blue than I do.
If I remember right, yours is +5 and mine's +9.
Wow.
Oh, yours is +4.
Well, one was blue and one of them has red, so let me see if they tell us.
Red is the higher, I think.
Okay.
It goes from blue to red, yeah.
So you're +5.
Okay, oh yes, here we go. Jolene is +5, blue stones, 5 blue stones, a lookout pin, and Jim is +8, and that's red stone.
Oh, okay.
Red means you're up above 5, I would assume. So congratulations, and I can't thank them enough for what they do for our community and what they've done for Rotary, and we're all looking forward to hearing. I know there's an announcement about the grant, but getting some information, more information about the grant we did down in Cozumel, Mexico. So let's give them a round of applause for their. Oh, yeah, thank you. Somebody got a picture roll. Good job. Okay, I also have an announcement before I call other people up. First of all, our club received the Club Excellence Award for the previous 24-25 year, which is the most significant award a Rotary Club can achieve, showing a commitment to achieve the goals of the Rotarians. So I want to have Judy stand up as our past president, 24-25. So we can give ourselves and Judy a round of applause for that video. And it inspired me to go back and look at my goals, because I have to go, I can't even remember which ones I wrote. Okay, so if you have any announcements, I'm gonna welcome you to come back up and give the announcement. I told you, Jim, you shouldn't sit down. Get me the steps in.
Good exercise.
It is. I've been there and done that. Twice, actually.
Okay, so now it's the beginning of my reminding you to bring those lovely gently used men's and women's clothing to the Bear Hotel. The pod is out. The actual fair will be on the 18th of October. So let's get started, everybody, and thank you for your help in the future.
No, the fevers are the finales. On your tables, you should have a flyer or two about the parking lot sale at Newman United Methodist Church. Newman United has a food bank. They provide the space on Thursdays for mint. They're basically an indirect partner of our club with lots of the activities that we're involved with. The parking lot sale is still a month or so away, but if you have an organization that wants a space, it's only $40. And you get to keep all of the money that you make for whatever you sell at the parking lot sale. So a couple of flyers there to participate in that. Thank you.
Valerie asked me to give an update on Green Bag. So our club has donated over 1,200
pounds so far, way ahead of the Wednesday club. Roger got in the bags yesterday and he was like, I think we're gonna be singing to you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's really great every time I go out to the warehouse and it's pretty empty out there right now. We've had even more cuts, but to see that they of those boxes and seeing Maslow and all the women's crisis was in there yesterday, getting boxes of food is really great. Thank you.
You know, this game is going on forever.
Reminder that I'm gathering gifts for the program
Oh, they look at every play.
of whatever it is. So keep us in mind.
That's bad. I didn't
Oh, yeah.
realize that that was something
On
that we
every
could.
foul ball.
I guess you know, that's something that you can specifically say, hey, I would like to donate 8 of something. I think somebody's donated Dutch Brothers cards and there's just various things that you can donate that will go in the
Foul
bag.
ball.
We have 8 schools now that we give to, so that's a great, you put on the bottom, you string it. How do you? Yeah. Okay. Foundation, road foundation, and in the bottom of the check, you will write service above self. Okay, great, so.
Jim and Jolene LaFever. We've been traveling to Mexico for about 15 years. We love scuba diving. We always go to Cozumel to dive because that's our favorite place in the world to dive. And about 2019, I was discussing, and Jolene, we went to the Cozumel Club, the Rotary Club. We were discussing about possibly a global grant. And then finally, in 2023, our club is a sponsor along with the Cozumel Club in Mexico of a global grant that I've talked about a few times. I'm just going down memory lane for a minute. And that's when we finally got approved. We started it in 24, we finally got approved. We got funded with $58,900 from BDF and from PRF and our club on August 21st. Is that, what day is that? That's today. A year ago today, we were funded on this grant. This morning, I received an email. Interim of the Cozumel.
Yeah, I've had it for about an hour, probably.
The project from Dialab has been completed. So, my whole project's not done, but the schools are finished. The rainwater collection and water purification is completed and operational. We've got the purification from the lab for the water for both schools. So the last payment, Dialab, Judy and I are gonna go do this afternoon. And then there's about $4,400 that's still in the account. That will be used by the Rotary Club in Cozumel to put in the signage that is necessary for the grant, because Rotary TRF requires specific signage. And then also to purchase some water coolers, so water coolers can be put in each classroom, or as many that we have money for. So the kids don't have to walk all the way down to the collection to fill their water bottle during the day. So today's a great day, August 21st, a year after we got funded, and now we're almost complete.
That is a construction pest. That's fabrication. That's the filters and all that. These guys worked really hard putting this together. And you know, we were out there when they were working one day and it was hot and they were working, and these guys just are tremendous in how they do it. There's some water containers that were set up, and in one school, I think it's the elementary school. They have like 6 containers, 10,000 gallon containers. And in one rainstorm in the summer, they could fill all 6 containers. That's how much it rains in the summer in Cozumel. So they can fill these up and do it, but.
I just want to say at a later date, we hope to give a presentation about this to the club.
So the next thing that happens, once we get all of the signage up and everything, we're gonna close that grant out. And then I will be starting the next grant for Cozumel, because what we eventually want to do is have these systems in every school. Cause they spend $500 a month on bottled water. And that bottled water that's $500 a month that they could use for computers, for supplies, for other things that these schools need to teach these children. So, we're gonna start another one. So please think about it, because we're gonna have to raise money for it. What, about 10,000?
Total funds we will need is closer to about 15.
I mean, but as a club.
Well, as a club or multiple clubs, because we have other clubs that are interested in combining with us.
So I'm gonna start kicking off, we're gonna start raising the money. When we're down there in November, we're going to meet with them, and I'm gonna ask Amicio, okay, who are the other schools, who wants to be a part of this? And since we've already done 2 now, we could transfer all that information over to the new grants. And just change some wording about the schools, and we'll be off and running, and it shouldn't take 3 years like these 2 schools did. Hopefully, we can get this done in a year or less.
Thank you for your help and your support.
No, that's great. I think we're all looking forward to that presentation. And I have to laugh as a school teacher when he said the kids had to walk so long to go get water. Most of my kids would be lining up every day to take a tag to be able to walk down to get the water, sadly enough. So yes, something that we just so take for granted, that in their case, this is just wonderful. And I'm actually hoping to get down to Cozumel myself. Never been to Mexico other than Tijuana, and I've heard that doesn't really count. So there we go. I have one more announcement I'm going to bring up, and that is our social for this month. Jed and Patty Henson have opened up their pool and their yard, and if you haven't been there, it's absolutely amazing. For a pool party on August 30th, which is a Saturday. They're going to open it between 1 and 4. They are asking people to bring $5 for everybody who comes. There will be towels there, because they don't want, you don't have to bring wet towels home. There will be towels, there's going to be beverages for children and adults, I've heard. And there will also be chips and fruit and ice cream. So we hope that you will all mark your calendars for August 30th. That's the Saturday. I don't know, and Labor Day, I don't know if that's Labor Day. I don't even know anymore. I'm out of teaching mode. It's the first is okay. Anyway, so there we go. That's what we're doing. And I actually am going to have Zara pass around a sign-up list if you're interested in going. You can email me. I've gotten a couple of emails back of people who will be coming who aren't here today. But your sign up so they know how much food to buy. So Zara, you want to get that passed around? Yes, Joe. It's at 1 o'clock to 4. 1 to 4, August 30th. Yep. And I also have the address. I think I put it in an email so you could put it in your car GPS system to get there. Yes. That was another, that's actually in I don't know who has the list. I didn't get here today early. I don't know where they keep everything, but there is a list for Art Along the Road signups. It's October 3rd through 5th. Do you know where it is, Judy? Okay, Judy will bring it and she'll bring it next week. And that's something that we really want to support Art Along the Road. So thank you. I let that one go just because I didn't know where the sign up sheet was. But yes, he's signing up for that. And I'm going to just take 2 minutes because we're already running over time, just to remind people that August is the time when we set up our committees. And I was gone last week. I jumped into it. I still have some things to do. We know our board of directors. We have, these are functioning meetings we have for the meetings. We'd like to go over that. And then next week, I'm going to have a list of the different committees, who's in charge. And I'm hoping that by the end of August, the 1st of September, we'll have signups all around and you can actually go sign up or cross your name off and you can get those organized. So I want you to know that I am working on them, getting them finalized. And we will do that over the next 2 meetings. And with that, I'm going to bring up Doug Walker to talk a little bit about today's program. I have been a part of it. One of the committees that has kind of laid dormant for a little while has been our Economic and Community Development Committee, which myself and Steve are on, and Josie was on it, as was Lynn Howard, and 2 of them left and it kind of died for a while. But we want to revigorate it and support community, support economic development in our community. So we're kind of trying to do something new. So I'm kind of excited. It's a mentoring program, working with RCC, also working with the Innovation Hub, which is a hub for entrepreneurs. And I went to a meeting there, it was last Wednesday, and it's a great group. They just kind of come and spill their ideas. So without further ado, Doug, I'm gonna have you come up and get us started.
You can,
Word document.
You can stand here with me since you're part of this. So like Val said, this is part of the Economic Development Committee in our club and how we can find ways to help the economy and the community. And that came about from the presentation we had from Kim Freeze from RCC and her entrepreneurship program. She has at RCC. She needs mentors, and well, obviously we're a room full of smart, accomplished people that can, most of us are smart, accomplished people. I'm not talking about some of you, or myself. Junction with the Chamber of Commerce that sort of has a beginning stages of this, same thing. And then the Hive and Trevor Yarsh and his group, same thing. And then the, I don't know what 3 Million Cups calls themselves, but
Billion cups.
it's million cups, 3 million cups. It's sort of a similar thing, but it's a national organization that's sponsored. That's a grant funded organization, and they help new entrepreneurs come and talk about their program to other that are there. So anyway, in conjunction with all of these different entities, and we're going to partner with them, and hopefully some of you are willing to be mentors. Thank you, you got that up there. So we sort of created a punch list of what we think this program or project, probably gonna be a program, not a project. Project sort of has an end date. Program is indefinite. This program is gonna be, and so the first thing we're gonna do is, and Kim Freeze has this already, is she's gonna create a application for possible mentorees or people that want to be mentored. And it's, they're gonna fill that out. It's gonna be sort of a self-described, what they think they need. And in our conversations, we've had numerous meetings, trying to figure out what this means and what we're gonna do. And a lot of those conversations were around, we're sort of inventing this as we go. And a mentoree might say this is what they need, but really they probably aren't real sure what they're gonna need. So a lot of it is gonna be conversations with the mentor themselves about what they're doing, what's going on in their life. Life is sort of 2/3 of our day, and work is maybe 1/3 of our day. And a lot of times life, we need mentorship in life as much as we need mentorship in work as well. So that's the first thing the mentors will do, or mentorees will do, is fill out an application, kind of describe what they think they need, where they are in their life and whatnot. And then the same thing's gonna happen with any of us that are interested in being in this mentor pool. So just because you sign up doesn't mean you'll be connected with somebody or they'll want to connect with you. A good portion of our conversation is the realization that it's about personal connections. And so we may sit around and have sort of a speed dating kind of thing with mentorees and mentors, and you may be there and maybe they're in sort of a certain technical field that you're in, but yet they don't connect with you, or they don't feel like they want to sit around and have coffee with you. They might want to sit around and have coffee with somebody else next to you. That's really what we want to foster, because that's going to be more important to all of this than the technical expertise. It's going to be more about those connections and whether you really have the ability to meet with them once in a while and talk about what's going on. So that would be the mentors and the mentoree pools. And that's going to be the number 3 is the speed dating sort of exercise where we'll go around and let people talk to each other. And one of the things Trevor brought up in his experience with mentors is that one of the things that's maybe significantly important in this is that a brand new entrepreneur may be looking at somebody who's just 4 years ahead of them in the process, whereas you may be 30 years ahead of them in the process. And so there's a little different space there. And so maybe you've got wisdom about something, and they need to also get some wisdom about somebody who's just 3 years ahead of them. And so in that speed dating process, there may be just as much a mentoree connecting with another mentoree to find out where they're at and what they're doing a couple years out, and whatnot. And then let's see, number 4, mentorship program. We're gonna try to ask that if you're a mentor that you purposely schedule 1 or 2 meetings a month or a meeting a month. And even if it's just talk about what's going on vacation, just so you make a personal connection and you talk to them. And then from those personal connections, the real work and effort and guidance sort of shows up over time. And those can be on phone, or by phone, virtual coffee shops, whatever it is, or you can go to their job site and see what the job site's a construction term, go to their office maybe, or something like that. And offer advice or problem solving or just listen, which is kind of what a lot of this is about. So I did quite a bit of research on the internet. The value of that or not, I don't know. But some of those were YouTubes about mentoring, what it means, and also TED Talks. And so I pulled one I thought that was sort of appropriate for what we're talking about doing. A lot of the mentorship programs or YouTubes and TED Talks were sort of about finding a mentor, not necessarily us as mentors making connections with mentorees, but mentorees finding a mentor. So this one I thought was appropriate. Is it sort of ready?
Yeah.
Sheena, thank you. So this is about a 12-minute or 14-minute TED Talk.
Did it scroll to the wrong?
No, it's the woman there that just happened.
One?
It's her, yeah, about the 2-minute mark is worth starting on.
Okay. Set up the share. Whoops. There we go.
Now, bringing
something really thoughtful and intellectual. But I have a little bit of a confession that I'd like to share with you all today. In my free time, I really like to watch TV. And the TV I like to watch are the shows that display time in school.
Everyone's just doing that. We'll have support material created through Kim Freeze and what she's done with her mentors at RCC. So you'll have some of that support, but there's not a lot involved with this. It's really about personal connections and talking and listening and either helping if you have that expertise that they're needing, or connecting them with somebody that you know. There's a lot of people in our club and those we know in the community that probably have either the expertise that they're looking for, or the common experience, or shared experience that they're looking to find guidance through. For me in construction, one of the things I always wanted to be when I first started out in construction was a big contractor with lots of employees. And after about 10 years of trying to be that, and failing, I found slowly but surely, I began to realize it's much easier to be a small contractor with maybe either by myself or 1 or 2 employees. I made more money and I had much less headaches. And maybe I would have listened if I were 23 and somebody was telling me that to avoid that. I don't know, I might not have listened. But there's those sorts of simple things like that are the experiences I think are worth sharing. And if maybe I might not have heard it when I was 23, but I might have gotten to the, oh, this isn't working sooner, versus spending 10 years trying to be a big contractor.
And I will say, when I went and talked to Kim, what she said is a lot of times they just need somebody to listen. And the reason that we put this under community development and economics is we all know that it's small businesses and startups. You know, we look at Travis. He was a small business in a Travis, at one point in time, and look where it went. The growth that goes on economic in our community is not, we can't plan on some great big huge person just deciding I want to live in Pass, Oregon and bringing 500 employees. It's not going to happen. We don't have that much shovel-ready property. It's just not. And in my 9 years on council, I will tell you, that's what we all think will happen. We can just sell ourselves and they're all going to come here because of the quality of life. But in the 9 years I've been here, it hasn't happened and we're still struggling. So the key is to help grow our own. And you can look around at the Travis, you can look around at Rentech. And these places have just grown and they're looking for more space. And that's who is growing in our industrial area. Right now, Magazine Exchange, which is really not a magazine exchange at all. It's when I went there and visited, it was just like, well, where did the magazine part come in? Because they have Pokemon cards. I mean, they've got this just warehouse full of stuff that they sell all over the country. They said they take up almost 3/4 of the UPS packages that come into the city right there, and they're right in Spalding, right off I-5. So we have some things to sell, but what we really need to do is develop the talent we have here. And I think that's what we're trying to do, because people have ideas, especially young, and we just kind of need to mentor them and help them know how to turn those guys in and what resources are available, because we have it. We have resources available to help, and then just give them moral support. And I think that's what we're trying to do, is just give them that moral support that, yes, things happen. We've had great things happen around here, and you can be the next one. When I went last Wednesday, it was kind of funny because the person had car problems and didn't show up, but we did a little exercise. And I even got excited about startup companies and starting a company of my own at 7 years old, because I thought, well, I always did have that dream when I was young. And so it just kind of makes you think that, yeah, things really can happen. So how are we doing? Have any luck on that?
School or teaching school. I think my family and my friends have some really interesting.
And try one more thing.
Tell us what she was gonna say.
Yeah, I didn't watch the video yet.
Well, what she's gonna touch on, and she does it really well, she's a professor in North Carolina or something like that, and part of her slice of what she does is mentorship and
Ideas about how I spend my leisure time. So I imagine they think that I read the works of ancient philosophers.
Being a mentoree and also being a mentor, and she likes reality competition televisions like runway competition TV and then cooking competition shows. And one thing she learned from it is that there's mentors there in those they're built into those programs to talk with the contestants they're doing it. And she found herself very surprised at the variety of methods that the mentors used when they were a mentor. Some of them were very cuddly and supportive, some were sort of standoffish and grouchy, some were sort of just matter of fact and plain. And she said it all works. And one of her other reflections that she talks about is, as being a mentor or a mentoree, it's like you have to understand what you're going to get from your mentor, or what you're going to give to your mentoree, and to communicate that, because the mentoree may want some guidance on how best to present themselves, such as fashion. I'm good at it. I need the fashion. I got clean clothes on. I got tucked in just right like that. I'm good. This is my scale shirt. But some of those conversations might be for the mentoree. How do I present myself when I go to this meeting? What's that supposed to look like if you're fresh and new in the world? And then the mentor may think, well, I'm just giving them technical advice. I'm not giving them fashion advice. Or something like so. So make sure when you do start this relationship, you talk about to each other what you expect out of it. What does the mentor expect? Like, we're gonna meet once a month, we're gonna meet every 2 months. The mentoree needs to say, this is kind of what I think I want, but it may change, and have those conversations on a regular basis, because the mentoree may want fashion advice, or how best do I create my process of my emails, and how best to handle incoming information, outgoing information. And she talks a bit about that. It really was no then, Gina. Yeah. Okay, we'll have to figure that. We've had that trouble in the past.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out how to play videos off the internet. Yeah. Okay. What's that?
Need a video mentor.
We need a video mentor. Yeah, anybody? And Val's gonna need a mentor apparently, pretty soon too, so. What kind of business is this?
Actually, this is just like a funny one. This is on parenting, and anybody who's a teacher knows, how easy it is for children to escalate really quickly, and how much we need to get them to de-escalate and have a time to settle down. And so I thought, as a child, if we came up with a stoplight in your house, and you knew that every time, you were ready to rile up, you just kind of went to your room and the red light said you're hot. You could push it when you're turning yellow, and then you could come out when you're green. And we all kind of had that ability to have a spot, and they could continue the school, so that they just kind of knew your behavior right now is unacceptable. acceptable. Could you please, I mean, you have to work on it, but if you started it really young and they just kind of always knew what red, yellow, and green meant, then you could, and it was a light and it wasn't you yelling, 5 more minutes. I mean, that was just, we all know as a parent, you set the clock and the kid has no concept of a clock. So, they kind of get used to, that's just kind of how you do it. And so I just thought it'd be a fun thing to have. And as a teacher, I would have loved to have it, just like for a corner of my room. As a mother, I would have liked to have it in a place in the house so that it removed me from having to be the screaming Mimi to be the cop. So that was just always something that I thought would be absolutely wonderful to have. And my brother's an electrical engineer, and so I thought surely he could help me design it. But I just never got there. And so that was just one of those things that I thought about, because we all know that the most difficult thing you'll ever do in your life is parenting. And, it's sad to say that, when your worst moments, you can hear your parents in the background through your voice screaming and all those things. I said, I'll never be like that. Well, guess what? You are. So I just wanted a tool to help with that. So that was just one of those little things that I always thought would be really cool to do.
You're gonna invent, some little sign with a red light and a yellow light, green light, yeah. Something from the road work crew. Okay, Gene, yeah, got questions? There's another mic.
Right here.
I've had a lot of people that were agents in my office. Some of them have grown up to be brokers in their own offices. And one thing I learned long ago in mentoring is don't tell them what to do. Ask questions.
Yeah.
Keep asking questions and they'll figure it out. You'll help them figure it out if you ask the right question.
Yeah, and so Gene's got a question, but I want to respond to that. That is one of the things the nice lady on the YouTube talked about was most people kind of know what the right answer is. They just need to see it bounce off of you in some way or another to then feel comfortable to make that decision. Gene?
Easy question. I don't know if I missed it, but what was the ages? Is it high school, college?
These are
out of college?
These are generally college. I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody at the 18-year range, because RCC sometimes takes seniors and things like that. But I believe the main range is gonna be like 19 to 30.
Okay.
There may be a few people that might be 32, 33. How old are you? 33, 34?
Some months.
And so the idea is that all of you are sort of in this program, and tell me if you want to absolutely be opted out, and we'll make sure you're out. But what we're gonna do is sort of just create a list from what we know of all of you, your names, your basic experience and where you are, and what you've done. And then what we'll do is we'll both have that as a database to maybe possibly connect people with that are uniquely gonna be, I mean, looking at Baylor, who's right in front of me, Baylor's a CPA, so maybe there's somebody out there who thinks they're gonna go down that path. Who's like, okay, well, let's let you talk to Baylor right off the bat, so you can at least understand what that means 10 years on. So that's one thing we're gonna do, and then we'll do that speed dating thing where it's really about personal connections, and any of you that can make it and wanna be there, please come. But we'll make a database. If you don't wanna be in that database, please tell me and we'll opt you out, but basically everybody's in it. As much information as we can provide from what we know, and then we'll either make personal connections or you will all be invited to that speed dating once we schedule that and actually figure out what that evening's gonna look like. Hey, what's that question?
Well, maybe that's the question, just more comment. I think this is just a brilliant idea because I literally yesterday met with a young person who had just graduated from college, didn't like what he was doing, and his dad is a client, and he sent him in to talk to me about maybe changing gears, into accounting. And so, we spent an hour just talking about what that involves, what you have to do, what the work is. And, yeah, I mean, this just kind of happened randomly. And so I feel like that just shows that the need and the desire for that is out there.
When we go and we volunteer at the middle school and elementary school, a lot of the conversation from the teachers and from the administration is the more adults that a kid in that situation, it's middle school and elementary school, can be exposed to adults that are out functioning in the world, and I think this applies to a 20-year-old, the more they can see, oh, I like that pathway that person's on, I kind of want to copy them, which is, I think, that example, like I like this type of a work experience. And so the more you can expose yourself to those Probably a bad choice of words. Don't expose yourself. Sometimes my best home straight man. Yeah, you know, the more you can show them what it means to be a functional adult, and I'm doing it this way, this is my method of functioning and succeeding in the world, the more they can then make good decisions for themselves. Anybody else?
And I'll just add, even as a fifth, sixth grade teacher, my students or whatever loved to talk with older people about that. So I think it's just a great idea. Even younger people like to talk to high school kids. I'm just saying, it's something about talking to somebody other than their parents. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody listens to their parents. We all know we're all parents. They never listen to us, but they may listen to somebody else. And so that's the opportunity. And so we have a bunch of successful people in here who like to give back. We do wonderful things in the committee and community, and we'll continue to. And it's just one more option that we can do to help the many people out there that are just kind of looking for some direction.
Yeah, and one more thing. Oh, sorry, Laura, just coming up here. There's Kelly. One more thing. I think, Jim, Beth, can you bring the mic to Jim? Yeah. To tag on to what Valerie said earlier about helping out in the community. A lot of times, a business like Dutch Brothers, I mean, that's the prime example because they exploded and everything, or Rentec, or there's others. They need secondary service contractors that do something similar, or not similar, but that can support them in whatever way it is. And so sometimes we may not be influencing the next greatest thing like Dutch Brothers, but maybe we're influencing the subcontractors that Dutch Brothers uses. And that is sometimes almost as important to help Dutch Brothers explode as anything else. So there's other businesses that they lean on for supplies and for other services. Jim?
I just want to encourage everyone, because I think every person in this room has something that a young entrepreneur could learn about in your own life experience. And I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're gonna go to starting documents.
I just wanted to say that Judy Basker and I know that there are going to be a ton of people who want to be mentored in fundraising. Oh, yeah.
I just want her to do it.
Yeah, I brought that article to, I got Judy's on the front page too, if anybody wants to see it, it's great.
Is this only this club or is this all of Rotary?
We are doing a pilot project, let's put it that way. You know, one of the things, and I am meeting on a monthly basis with the presidents. I talked last week about the fact that we're trying to build a big community project that will involve all of the Rotaries. Something like the library and whatever. So yeah, we're trying to work together to show the city and what Rotarians can do. So that's what we're trying to do, and we're kicking this off. And then we're going to hopefully expand it into the other clubs, because we think this is a really good thing to do. And with that, I'll hand it over to Kelly Murphy.
Thank you. Okay, so, I'm really changing gears here. Last week we did vocationals and, which were very fun because of you back there, Mr. Millard, made it so wonderful. But I think I'm going to talk a little bit about, what came up in our vocationals is what we do. I've only had one career all through my adulthood, and that was education. I've been a teacher. And as Diana knows, I had both sons. Yay. Oh, and do I have evidence on them? Oh, we could go into it because I taught, you've heard it all. No, I mean, I taught music, and so I did big shows, which your sons were both in. But what I am going to talk about though is RCC, of which I know Tommy, Lutz, and I were all teachers out there. When I left Lincoln, there's another one. When I left Lincoln, I went right to the college to teach. So I really never got to have much of a retirement until COVID. And got talked in, first of all, of course, I went out there for music, but then I got roped into teaching writing, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. How I got roped in was our head of the humanities department. He said to me, I really need you to come and teach writing 115. That is not bonehead, but it's one above. And you've got to think, these people come in not knowing how to put a sentence together on paper. And I said, oh, I think I can handle this because I'm just going to treat them like they're fourth graders. And it worked. And so one of the things that we taught in 115 was how to use description, how to make a sentence like, I walked in the door, walking slowly, wondering what was going to be behind that door. You see the difference. And so we spent quite a bit of time on that. And one of the ways that I handled it was to have them do projects where they had to do writing. And one of them, of course, I couldn't keep art out of it. And so I did mapping your neighborhood. And they had to come up with some kind of memory from their childhood or early adulthood that was memorable to them. And they would draw a map of this. And then, and I have a few maps too. I can pass them around, but I think I'll just put them out if you're interested. Were they all this good at drawing? Oh, not even close. But this was one that was done. Yeah, pretty good, huh? Yeah. And so get an idea of that. But the one I'm going to focus on today, and I noticed in every 115 class I had students that said, I don't want to do this. And so I started making sure that I addressed, you may not be a person that had good memories. You may have had a terrible childhood, but you need to tell about it. It's not only good for you, it's good for us. And I want description. Well, I am not going to give you this girl's map. She actually didn't give it to me to keep. Some of these did. It's called, and so this is her paper, and I have permission to read it. It's called In the Ghetto. Where I grew up, no one in their right mind would want to raise a child. I found out later it was LA. We lived in an apartment. It was the worst apartment for drugs and violence. It was also in the worst part of town, filled with people that would stay up half the night committing crimes and doing drugs. Our apartment was a dingy brown with brown dirt all over it because no one seemed to care enough to clean it up. For the most part, this complex was filled with drug addicts, alcoholics, hookers, and gangsters. The police were always being called for crimes from murder to drugs. The gangsters wanted to kill each other over colors and they wore, and more importantly, territory. The hookers walked the street nights and days and nights for drug money. You couldn't leave anything outside or it would be stolen in a matter of seconds. My mom was stuck in this lifestyle. She was addicted to drugs and would do whatever she had to for another bag. For me, this was normal. I didn't know any different. I grew up very poor to the point that at times I didn't even get dinner. Christmas was hard for me as a child. I didn't get cool presents like all my friends and the other children in my apartment. My mom was addicted to drugs and she constantly spent all of her money on her drug of choice. It wasn't uncommon for my mom to be gone for days at a time when child support and welfare checks came in. She never really had a job because that would get in the way of what she thought was important. There were many nights that I wondered if I was going to get any dinner, just one small meal. To my disappointment, many nights my brother and I went without dinner, not even getting a little snack. Many days we were left home alone with no food or toiletries. Obviously, the drugs were more important in my mom's eyes. I would get so hungry that my stomach would growl louder than the dog could bark next door. I couldn't take it anymore, so I started going to the mini mart to shoplift food. There were many times that my brother and I would physically fight over food if there happened to be any in the refrigerator. So when I would go shoplift for food, I would have to hide somewhere so I could eat without my brother trying to take the food. It was only a matter of time before I got caught. I walked into the mini mart across the street and went to the back where there was soup and put 2 cans in my pockets. The little old lady that owned the store started yelling at me, saying that she was going to call the cops. I ran out of the store and hid behind a dumpster. Only minutes went by, and then I continued to walk home. And when I got home, I gave my brother a can of the soup and kept one for myself. About an hour later, there was a loud knock on the door. It was the police. They had come to the house and asked me about the soup. I wanted to lie because I was scared, but instead I told the truth. For being honest, the police didn't take me to jail, but instead I had to go apologize to the owner of the store. Much to my surprise, later that night, the police were back. But this time, they had several bags in their hands. They had all chipped in and brought my brother and I food. My eyes were huge in disbelief. All I wanted to do was hide and eat all the food that the cops brought us. It goes on and she talks about how she didn't have very many good memories, but she had lots of bad memories. Why am I reading this to you? First of all, she was one of my college students. She made it. She was a survivor. And do you know how important it was that she was able to tell this story? She actually let me read it in the class and in subsequent classes. I think this is one of the reasons that I chose to serve, because there are people out there that have living this life. So I wanted to just share that with you. And so now, crappy books, happy books, what do you got to share? Anybody?
Yeah.
Where we go?
I have a concern buck or two. I was at the commissioners meeting last week and also this week. The topic was the library. Of course, as an educator, I think libraries are important, but I thought they were important before I was an educator when I had little baby kids. And we went to the library every week, got our 20 books and went home and read them and played with them and came back the next week for more. It's really of great concern to me that there's any question, but there are several people that stand up against the libraries. So I'll continue to let you know what's going on there. We're working on a new lease so they can stay in their building while they raise money for a new library building, which will be done. Okay. Okay, thank you. Miss Gina Marie is the president of our library board, so she knows most stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was just thinking, Gina. Oh.
Any other? Yeah, back here, I'm coming.
While she's shuffling the microphone, I'm here from Minnesota and I'm just glad to see my sister and her brother and her husband who live here in Grants Pass, and fun to see another Rotary Club here in Oregon.
Yay. Okay. I'll give this microphone back to you when I'm done, Kelly, or whoever. I'm thankful that we have Suzanne, our new foreign exchange student from France here. She loves to sing and I heard her sing. She's in choir and she sounds beautiful. And she's into equestrian horse riding, whatever that's called. And then I'm thankful when I went and signed her up at school for all the connections that I was able to have there. Mr. Sarver, the counselor, and other teachers I saw around. It made it a lot more helpful. So connections, teachers, Rotary friends, I'm very thankful. It's going to make it so much easier to host her. Judy's article in the paper is so good. The last 2 paragraphs was my favorite. And I think we'll redo our trust, about the 10%, make sure we leave more money to charities other than our kids, because they're gonna do fine. Yes, that's my thing. So who else? Oh, then you're.
I'm just happy that my brother and his wife are here. And I'm also happy to be able to tell the story of, Jim Lefevre talked about the water in Cozumel, Mexico. I can remember as a member of the Lions Club, saw a photo, a moving photo of a bunch of men walking, each man with his hands on the shoulder of the man in front. The only one that could see was the man in front from river blindness. And that touched my heart. And part of what my giving goal is, do your giving while you're living, then you're knowing where it's going. Part of my giving goal is to help with water in Africa, and I'll also help with.
So I'm gonna pay Judy's fine for being in the newspaper. I don't know what it costs, $10 maybe, but also very happy about the fact that we're starting the mentorship program. I'm really thrilled about that, especially being able to work with the Chamber of Commerce and Trevor and RCC and all that group. It's really great. And then I want to say that the point that Kelly brought up about the young lady, I mean, besides bringing tears to my eyes, it's an interesting bit, I think, that we need to talk about is do we as a society help that child? Because there's some voices in America that say you don't help and let them suffer the consequences of their actions, and they'll pull themselves up by the bootstraps. And I would disagree with that. I think we do help that person, and I'm glad that she's found her way.
I want to thank Jim and Jolene for what they do. We all are part of creating more and better water for third world countries, as well as clinics in third world countries, which is one of our very first events that we had. Debbie, I believe, was president when we started building a clinic in Nepal, and we had to come up with $58,000, but our club only came up with, I think, 6. We found another club to come up with 6. And then we doubled down. It was a little different formula, doubled down at the district level and then quadrupled down at the federal level. And we had money and we built the clinic. But it takes people like Jim and Jolene going down there until things start happening. And there's a lot of steps along the way. So thank you for doing what you do. I'm glad you're going to keep on doing it. And thank you to all of us, because this is how Rotary works, doubling and quadrupling our money so that we can get work done, and doing it with people from that country so that what we know we're doing is the right thing, instead of thinking we're doing the right thing and we're not. So that's my happy bucks for today.
I'm Bruce Murray. I'm not known for being particularly happy or hopeful. I have 20 happy bucks because I got to be one of the first people to float down the wild and scenic part of the Upper Klamath River that's been restored. I went above the area where the 4 dams were removed with one of my best friends, Lake Philippi. We fished, and this was one fishing trip where the least important memory is of catching fish after fish after fish, which we did. The best was seeing the restoration of the river, particularly where the dams have been removed. It's unbelievable what the tribes have done from the coast to replant the riparian zones, 20 feet to 30 feet of greenery and flowers and shrubs and willows now 10 feet high. You must go there next May to see the carpets of wildflowers in what was the reservoir of the Cockco and Iron Gate dams. Absolutely amazing. Came back. I'm still inspired by the fact that we can abuse nature, but if you give it a chance, it can come back, and it can come back with incredible glory and beauty.
Did you see the wild horses?
We did not. Yes, we did see wild horses. Yes, we did. Yes. Hundreds, yeah. Yes, salmon. I was with a biologist She says, it may be disputed, but she says she was there when they captured fry on the Williamson and on the Sprague River for salmon in Oregon. That is highly under dispute. It has not been published. But where else would they come from? Yeah, it's just amazing what has been done, but perhaps they've gone beyond the 250 miles of the river, all the way above Klamath Lake, up to the tributaries.
Nice.
I just wanted to put something towards you, to every band, every woman here. You have something that's on your heart. To give back, to work with other places in the world, now I'm saying away from the United States. Something you have that you'd like to work with and see done. Talk to me or talk to Tommy. We'd be happy to tell you how, as we said in 24-25, the magic of Rotary works. Okay. Don't have time to do it right now, but still, if you want it, this is how we work.
Okay, I gotta do cards. And we had our, oh,
I have a happy book, a bunch.
of course.
He might be not hopeful and not happy, but he has done wonderful things
Oh,
in our
yes, he
town.
has our boy, Bruce, you good, yes. Absolutely. And we'll continue, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me.
Our
first
guest
name
for
again.
Lisa, Leaf.
Leif, Leaf like Leif Erikson?
Say with Blake.
Safe with Leif, okay, ooh, okay, so if you are holding the 8 of clubs, you be the winner.
Okay, we've got our microphones, I don't know how that works, but yes, indeed, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed your visit. We are Rotarians, and I'm sure you can go back to your club and say, we're all doing good out in that world, because we are. So with that, I'm going to give you the thought of the day and send you out of here. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. So with that, go off and have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Thursday, same time.
This young guy, you got a picture.